Chapter 16 Syzygy Antumbra. Gala Day, Rachel and Santana. Rachel's bedroom looked like a boutique exploded. In the middle of it all, Santana Lopez stood in full glam mode, hair pinned in hot curlers, wearing Rachel's favorite pink satin robe. "Okay," Santana said, pointing at Rachel with a mascara wand. "Emotional check-in time B. You're about to strut onto your first public stage since a hitman tried to give you some religion." When Rachel raised an eyebrow, she explained, "Religion? You know, make you holy?" Rachel threw a tube of lipstick at her. "How are we feeling?" Rachel stood in front of the mirror, smoothing a hand down the shimmering fabric of her gown. She paused and grabbed her whiteboard to scribble an answer. "Nervous. A little. Or a lot. But not scared." Santana softened. "That's big, Rach." Rachel blushed, erasing the board and writing. "Cabin helped. Christmas def helped." Santana dropped the mascara. "Ay Dios mío. Yes, tell me everything again." He walked in, saw the tiny tree and melted like marshmallow fluff. "But damn it. You're still playing the part of the mute girl. And I need to hear this play-by-play in full Broadway drama mode." "Tomorrow then," she smirked. Rachel beamed, cheeks flushed. Her pink marker glided over the board. "It was magical though. You're just jealous." "I'm not jealous, but God, you two are just so perfect," Santana said, trying not to gag on the admission. "I'm not saying you two need to elope tonight, but just know I fully expect to be your MOH. I'll be damned if Humelina thinks he's getting my rightful maiden duties. He can design your gown or whatever. Just saying." Rachel threw a pillow at her, laughing just the same. "Too soon." Santana dodged the pillow and rolled her eyes at the whiteboard. "Right. Not sure Caption Jackfruit agrees though." She tapped the center of her forehead, smirking. "The MT is always picking up a serious husband aura when he's around." Rachel fought the urge to scream, settling for a gasp instead, which Tana ignored. "Anyway, you're glowing, and at least this time it's not a fever or tonsils." She nodded with a small smile, the memories of their cozy cabin holiday getaway replaying in her mind. "I'm just glad Romeo and Dr. Smarty Pants were able to help get you back in tip-top shape. Tonight is huge for Kurt and Burt, but also, we all know you're gonna crush it." "Thank you, Sanny." Rachel took a deep breath, then broke her code of silence and whispered, "What if people ask about the parade?" "To hell with them. You don't answer anything you don't want to." Rachel pulled a face and Santana moved in front of her, hands on her shoulders. "Listen to me, mommy. You just walk in there like you invented Broadway because you practically did. Then you charm the pants off every donor in that room, talk up the show, talk up the foundation. And if any hungry gossip sluts ask about shit that's not their business, do what you always do, deflect and redirect. You're good at talking, just keep doing that. And anyone who whispers? Fuck 'em, it's their funeral. Your squad of soldier boys will grind them into dust, especially Chef General Hudson." Rachel laughed, knowing San was right. And Santana added slyly, "Bonus? You get to see him do it while wearing a tux." Rachel's eyes sparkled. She didn't bother responding to San, but inside she was bursting with excitement to see Finn all decked out for the gala. She's had dreams of what formal soldier boy Hudson looks like, and tonight she's finally getting the chance to find out. Her silence and face-splitting smile must have given her thoughts away though. "Why Carino? Mommy, just put that girl on ice for a little longer. Dios mío, you saw him yesterday and he'll be here before you know it." Santana shook her head, watching Rachel's eyes glisten brightly. "Now sit. I'm in charge of your makeup. Can't risk you doing it yourself and stabbing your eye out. Then the only thing you'll be singing tonight is Eyes Without a Face in the ER while Stretch paces around like an expectant baby daddy." Rachel plopped onto the vanity bench with a giggle. As San started working her magic and rambled on with some crude story about Puck, her thoughts drifted for a beat. Baby daddy? Apart from putting some extremely premature, but also extremely appealing visions in her mind, the phrase gave her pause. Tana was making her pucker just so while painting her lip liner on as she ran some internal math, a sudden realization dawning. Rather than panic or react at all, she dismissed it as an utter impossibility. Anyway, she had the gala to get through. Hopefully sans any further assassination attempts. Obviously she had more than enough on her plate to think about already. She'd worry about her stupidly bad math another time. 20 minutes and a full cup of throat coat later, the doorbell rang. Tana checked the peephole, confirming her suspicions, and swung open the door. Before she could speak, she took a good look at him, sucked a sharp breath, then froze. "Oh," she breathed. "Well, dim." Rachel heard the commotion from the other room and came bounding in, well, as much as one could bound in a skin-tight mermaid evening gown and platform high heels. And then she too skittered to a halt mid-step, her heart suddenly doing crazy things. Finn Hudson stood in the doorway like a cover shoot come to life. Crisp black tux, matching black button-down shirt, with the top buttons undone, and an untied bow tie dangling around his neck. His pocket square was the only pop of color, silver gray to match her gown. His hair was gelled and casually styled, his beard scruff neatly trimmed just enough to look deliberate instead of lazy. Kurt had been willing to fish another Loner Luxe tux out of the Vogue closet for him, but Finn decided to foot the bill for a custom keeper, done by a designer of Kurt's choosing, of course. This was, after all, probably the first of many of his red carpet appearances. He figured Rachel was worth the wardrobe upgrade. He just wasn't sure about the untied tie situation, but Kurt assured him it was the cherry on top, and the height of style right now. All the while that Rachel stood frozen, staring at him, he suddenly became acutely aware he was staring right back at the most beautiful girl he'd ever seen. And she was in a dress that was probably pretty awesome too. If only he could focus on anything besides her face and the curves shown off under the shiny fabric. "Hey," he said softly. "Wow," was all he could muster. Rachel forgot pretty much everything. "Hi." Tana cleared her throat loudly. "So, okay, I'm just gonna give you a minute before all three of us spontaneously combust in the living room." Finn laughed under his breath as Rachel stepped closer, adjusting the symmetry of his undone bow tie with fingers that trembled just a little. "Wow yourself, buddy," Rachel whispered. "You didn't have to do all this, but I'm so glad you did. And that I get to enjoy it all night," she giggled. He tipped his forehead gently against hers. "Yeah, well, figured I'd give the jeans and hoodies a night off. Especially since I'll be standing next to all of this," he said, running his hands up and down her sides and back. He inhaled her scent and bit the inside of his cheek. "Holy shit. You're wearing the Dior Rach? Seriously, you sure we can't skip it?" She swatted playfully at his arm, shaking her head and laughing. "I wish," she whispered. "So you like my perfume, huh? Woman, you know what it does to me." She grinned coyly, the space between their lips slowly closing, until Santana's voice echoed down the hallway. "And you'd better not screw up her makeup. So no making out until after the show. Juro por Dios, if you mess up my hard work before we leave Hudson, your ass'll be in a sling right next to Michigan J. Chong." Red carpet drop-off zone. Finn had seen a great many challenging things in his life already, lived through more hellfire and chaos than most too, probably. But he glanced out the window and knew immediately he was completely a fish out of water. The red carpet was a new kind of chaos unlike anything he'd ever imagined. Bodies packed together like sardines behind velvet ropes. Continuous camera flashes shouted names, enough couture and luxe accessories to fill an entire chain of specialty stores. His insides squirmed a little, seeing nothing but sniper roosts and danger zones. Press feeding on the people between the velvet ropes like it was their last supper. But Rachel? She was glowing, radiant, dazzling, and so ready to face this head-on. Anyone who'd ever considered her weak or vulnerable was seriously underestimating this woman. Because walking willingly out there to be surrounded by that pack of wolves, that took guts, strength, courage, determination, all the things he'd always seen in her, right from the first moment he picked up that damn dossier all those months ago. All the things that made him fall in love with her. And seeing her in her element here gave him confidence and courage too. Yes, he had a job to do tonight, but his other job was equally important. Being her supportive boyfriend while hopefully not making an ass of himself or embarrassing her. Before the driver opened the passenger door on Finn's side, he looked at Rachel and grinned. "You ready, superstar?" She took a cleansing breath and flashed a gleaming smile. "As ever. What about you, honey?" He looked at the ocean of flashes and squealing people behind the ropes. "I think I can handle it. I'll handle it better once we're inside. Shall we?" She nodded and he cracked the door open, letting the driver take it from there.
You ready?
The flashes went crazy, but all he could see was his star shining bright. He grinned at her, offered his arm, and she took it. He felt her hand tighten on his elbow and their eyes locked for a long beat. For one strange, glittering moment, it was just them. Not the applause or the cheers, just them. Then a reporter shouted her name obnoxiously and pulled him out of their magic moment. He looked around, realizing this was the world seeing her not as a target or a headline, but as the star she was, and felt his chest bubble with pride. But then the soldier in him took command. Yes, she'd earned all this fanfare, but because of that, her life was now in danger. "So what happens now?" Rachel whispered for only him to hear, while keeping her friendly show smile firmly in place for the cameras. "Can we stop for press at all?" Finn leaned in, voice low. "Yeah, babe. Do you what you do?" He paused to chuckle. "This is your field of expertise, not mine. But I guess you keep on smiling like this goddamn city owes you a thank you just for breathing, because it kinda does." She giggled and he felt her clutch dig into his arm a little. "And I guess you pose I duck out of the pictures." "But not all of them," she corrected with a teasing pout. He sighed a little. "Fine. Most of them," he conceded. "Then I make sure you're safe and sound inside." She nodded. "And after?" "After, I blend into your shadows." She turned her head up to face him, a hint of fear pulling at the corners of her mouth. "Don't worry, babe. I'll be within a look or a low call of my name away from you all night if it can be helped. But you know, I have work to do, and more importantly, so do you." Rachel gave him that genuine smile, the soft one he loved best. "You're right. I know you're right."
Come back to me.
Always. fancy party's over.
After party time!
3, 2, 1.
Happy New Year, Finn. Happy New Year, Finn.
Peace, love, and glee, dude. Huh. That L looks like me. Cool.